Chapter 1. Looking for Love. Too soon. I was just a girl when I started looking for love in places that only deepened my wounds. 14 years old and already exhausted by the ache of feeling unseen, unheard, and unprotected. I didn't have the words for it then, but I knew the ache intimately. It lived in my chest like a slow burning fire, one I kept trying to smother with attention, affection, and anything that looked like love. Back then, I mistook desire for devotion. If someone wanted me, I thought that meant they would care for me. If someone called me beautiful or held me close, I confused that for safety. But really, I was a child looking for a mother's comfort in a boyfriend's arms. I was looking for a father's protection in the gaze of boys who barely knew how to protect themselves. And because I had never been taught to love myself first, I gave away parts of me hoping someone would give them back filled. But no one ever did. By the time I was 18, I had already lived several lifetimes emotionally. I had fallen hard, been hurt deeper, and learned to carry shame like it was stitched into my skin. I was not just broken, I was convinced I was beyond repair. But I wore confidence like a costume. I smiled. I laughed. I made people believe I was okay. And in some ways, pretending to be okay became the only way I knew how to survive. Then I met him. He wasn't a savior, but back then, he felt like one. He was older, just 2 years, but those years made him feel like a man who had seen things I hadn't. He had pain in his eyes, too. Trauma. Secrets. A little boy trapped inside a grown man's frame, just like I was a wounded girl trying to play the part of a woman. We saw each other's pain, even if we didn't know how to name it. We weren't ready. We weren't healed. We weren't whole. But we were familiar. And sometimes, familiar feels safer than healthy. It didn't take long for the relationship to get serious. When you're young and hungry for belonging, it's easy to mistake intensity for intimacy. We got close quickly. The kind of close that makes you feel like maybe, just maybe, you found what you've been missing your whole life. But what I didn't know was that I had placed my identity in a person, not a purpose. And that's always dangerous. Looking back, I see how desperately I wanted to be rescued. I wanted someone to tell me I was enough, that I was wanted, that I mattered. But I was looking for that affirmation in a man who hadn't found it for himself either. We didn't fall in love, we fell into each other, into the safety of shared pain, into the rhythm of two people trying to outrun their brokenness by attaching to someone else's. He didn't make me whole, and I didn't make him better. We simply filled each other's emptiness with presence, and hoped it would be enough. But presence isn't healing. Love without healing becomes a burden, not a blessing. And I learned that the hard way. We told ourselves we were in love. And maybe we were. But love isn't supposed to cost you your identity. It's not supposed to silence your voice or validate your trauma by repeating it. I entered that relationship with a fractured soul, hoping he could piece me back together. But every piece I gave away left me with less of myself. And the truth is, I wasn't looking for partnership. I was looking for purpose through someone else's eyes. That was my mistake. I thought if I could just be loved by someone, I'd finally be worth something. I didn't realize I already was, that I always had been. That love doesn't start when someone chooses you, it begins when you choose yourself. But I didn't know that then. All I knew was that I was young. I was searching, and I thought I had found something worth holding on to. I didn't see yet that what I needed most wasn't a man. It was healing. And no relationship, not even one with the best intentions, can substitute for the work only God and time can do within you. So I stepped into love too soon, hoping it would save me. But instead, it became the beginning of a journey I never saw coming, one that would break me, shape me, and ultimately lead me back to the one thing I had been missing all along: myself.